Closer Look continues now here on 90.1 WABE. This is Atlanta's Choice for NPR. I'm Rose Scott. In 2015, Chick-fil-A launched the True Inspiration Awards program in honor of the legacy of its founder, Truett Cathy. So every year, Chick-fil-A, which is headquartered right here in the Atlanta region, celebrates nonprofit organizations that are making what they see as a positive difference in the areas of education, hunger, and homelessness in their respective communities. Well, one of the organizations, C5 Georgia Youth Foundation, yes, they're a 2021 True Inspiration winner. And joining me now to talk more about the C5 Georgia Youth Foundation mission is Jackie Cannizzo. She's the Executive Director of C5 Georgia Youth Foundation. And also, we're joined by Brandon Wilson. He's a freshman at the Morehouse College, because that's how you're supposed to say it, and a 2020 graduate of C5 Georgia. Jackie, Brandon, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rose. It's great to be here. We are bringing greetings from all of our staff at C5 because you are they say they're your number one fan. So,
well, I appreciate
that to you.
Hey, I'll take it all. And Brandon, I got it right because you have to say the Morehouse College, right?
Absolutely. The prestigious Morehouse College.
Oh, now look at you adding stuff. Let's for our listeners, I guess begin with the origin story, Jackie, because there's always an origin story. What is the origin story of C5 Georgia Youth Foundation?
Sure. So C5 was started by the former CEO of Coca-Cola Enterprises, John Alum, about 16, 17 years ago, as he experiencing some youth that could benefit from outdoor activities. And so because his children had gone to camp, so C5 actually started as a camp program, residential camp, and then he used his own money as well as Coca-Cola Enterprises money to engage some PhDs to create the top of the line, if you will, youth development program. Mm-hmm. And that is as it is today. So it is a 5-year program that starts with a residential camp and takes young people all the way to college. And that is why we have Brandon here to talk a little bit about that. But that is, really the short version of the start. So along the way, there's a lot of components to it, and mm-hmm. we'll share a little bit more in a bit.
Well, let me bring Brandon into the conversation. Brandon, when you first heard about this opportunity, and what was your reaction? And did you immediately think, okay, this is going to be cool? Or were you like, you know what, I need to feel these people out for a moment and see what they're trying to do up in here? Tell me about that.
Right. It was frankly surprising when I got selected. I had just moved from a different county, mm-hmm. and I moved to Douglas County. And in a short time, they were recommending this program called C5 Georgia in my middle school. And so when they, nominated me for the program, I was flabbergasted. And I was wondering, what is this? I want to know more about it. And so I went on the interview, got selected, and the rest is history.
Yeah. Jackie, when Brandon talks about, being interviewed, who are the candidates, and do you have a certain criteria? And you all are working with some specific communities. So, who are the type of kids that you want to help here?
Sure. So, I wish I was there at the beginning to meet Brandon. I only met Brandon 3 years ago, but we work with several schools in Metro Atlanta, the middle schools. We start, calling for nominees. The students in the 7th grade with our partner middle schools. Mm-hmm. And we are looking for young people that are what we call high potential, which means they have a B or better average in school. They are motivated to succeed. They have a little bit of a challenge-ready spirit to them, which means they are going to go on an adventure for 5 years. And it's a very diverse group of students. Mm-hmm. We have no more than 40% of each segment of the population, and because we want them to live in a world, we want them to be in a cohort that is reflective of the world we live in. So we call these students the silent middle, if you will, because they're students that sometimes they're high potential but are overlooked because of some students that are much higher achievers, and then there's other students that our program just doesn't fit for them. So that's kind of our makeup of our student body.
And so after the selection of the students, And then do you all have one-on-one counseling with them to get a greater in-depth feeling of what they want to do? In other words, are you all sort of fitting the program to meet their biggest needs and strengths or what have you, or challenges?
Honestly, there's a very intentional curriculum that includes community action, which is to introduce the benefit of them doing community service. There's a social awareness component because we want them to be aware of the society we live in. The college, as I mentioned, the college and career readiness component, and then the leadership component. So I don't think we definitely help along the way with the needs that the students have. So for example, in the last month, we have been doing individual check-ins with all of our students. We have about 225 students in the program right now. And we have done individual check-ins to see if they do need some extra help with school, if there's some circumstances that we can help with. We don't do direct services per se, but we do more of that, support, if you will.
And how diverse is the staff or the folks that are involved with the students? Because I imagine that would have to be reflective of the students in the program.
We have very diverse staff. We have very diverse board. So in part of the, with the True Inspiration Award, that was one thing that was a requirement, is that we have leadership that, again, as you mentioned, is reflective of the world that we live in. So, yeah.
Brenda, I want to come back with you. When you look back to when you were a youngster, now you're a ripe old man, but when you were entering the program, when you look back at yourself then and then now, how would you say this program has helped you?
Oh, it has impacted me immensely, from the experiences and the bridges I've built with other peers and my whole graduating class. We have built long-lasting bonds, because I believe that a majority of us actually, stayed within C5 for our whole matriculation throughout the program. So we've been able to see each other grow, and it's just been very, very impactful. You think about school, when we go to school and you go to the same school for 4 years. This is a program that we've stayed with the same people for 5 years. We got to experience each other, sometimes at our lowest and our highest moments. We're a family, for lack of a better term, and we have been able to really, really impact and pour into each other. And I think, looking back, I've improved, academically. I've improved with, leadership characteristics, being able to go and hike in the wilderness for 5 days was very, very life-changing. We went out to Seattle. We were able to, hike a mountain. And so this thing that they told us was that, if you're able to hike this mountain, then any other mountain that, you encounter throughout your life is a piece of cake, and that you can conquer anything. So that was very, very life-changing, that, I can do anything as a C5 family. We all can do anything. We can conquer anything. Nothing is too giant. Our goals, our aspirations are all attainable if we just keep the focus and stay committed to our journey.
I definitely feel you on that. I've done many, many hiking in the mountains of Missouri, so I definitely understand that. Jackie, when you hear Brandon talk about what this program how it has helped him, and you heard him talk about just even, with the bond that he shared with the other students, is this, I guess, all part of what this is part of the mission of the foundation?
It really is, Rose. It is a family, and it's really fascinating to be a part of it. I've been here in this position now for a little over 3 years, and so to watch and have known Brandon for a little over 3 years, and he's also he didn't tell you, but he's also a golfer, and I'm a golfer too. So we had that connection. But
now let me back up, because everyone that says they're a golfer, now do you play golf or are you just both golfers? Because I'm not a golfer, but I play golf. There's a big difference. So let's be really, which means I'm terrible. So,
well, I'll tell you, Rose, Miss Jackie, she's a PGA professional.
Oh, okay. She's a golfer then. Okay.
So I'm a golfer. Miss Jackie's the real deal.
So then I will not challenge either one of you then.
We want you to, Rose, we'd love to have you come and play in our golf event in May. But to your point, and Brandon and I have that extra connection, but it's those connection points that the students, as Brandon mentioned, have with each other. We have a very dedicated staff that is very dedicated to the success of the students, a very dedicated board of directors, and of course volunteers. And so it has become this community, and we have alumni like Brandon. Now, the first class that graduated from Georgia was C5 Georgia was 2010, Brandon being 2020, but his class has a special bond because they graduated in a pandemic, right? So we've continued to keep these young people connected through our volunteer, they come back and volunteer, but also through our little alumni association. And now we're starting to hear from companies that are actually reaching out and asking us to recommend some of our alums for internships and potential jobs. So we are hoping to build on that. And that, again, was certainly the True Inspiration Award has helped us to continue that.
Well, let's talk about that award, because along with the recognition, you also get a pretty nice funding opportunity here. So how much did y'all receive?
Don't tell anyone, Rose, but we actually was a $225,000 investment in our program, which is mind-blowing to say the least. But we're very fortunate, and Brandon will say we're blessed to have that connection with the Chick-fil-A company, as they, Brandon, I don't know if you'll talk about this, but Brandon works at Chick-fil-A for the owner-operator that actually nominated us. So, it came full circle, I believe.
Brandon, you are running for office over there at the Morehouse, for the SGA Senator at Morehouse. How's it going?
Well, the election has passed.
Okay.
I realized that this year I really wanted to focus on myself. As a freshman going into college, it's a new experience for me. So I really let my Morehouse brothers take the helm on that, on those leadership roles. But to say the least, you're going to see more of me, rise at Morehouse throughout the years. This is my first year. I have 3 more years to go. So, my aspirations are definitely SGA president, and serving those capacities to my other brothers.
I have no doubt in my mind, Brandon, that you will get there. And we're very proud of you, and we appreciate you telling your story. I want to ask you, though, how has it been, with the pandemic and learning? I know that for some students it's virtual, some it's in class, a little bit of both. How are you handling all this? This is different, I know, for that first year.
Yeah, it's been very, we think about the class before me of, their second semester was shot by this pandemic. But, being, the first class, I had to experience this my senior year, and then also I had to experience it my freshman year. So it's been very, very, abnormal, to say the least. We've had to adapt and assimilate to this new normal. And just see the greater good of it. We always like to say in Morehouse, nothing stops the house. So, we really pressed forward with, we just had our candlelight gala. It was virtual. We pressed forward with virtual homecoming. We pressed forward with, different events on campus, and clubs and organizations are still recruiting. So, nothing ever stops the house. So we're still trying to, make it as normal as possible in a pandemic, and really, really cater to the students. The Department of Business Economics, we're planning to host a golf tournament in May, and so we're searching for courses that will host us, and donors and things like that. So we're still trying to impact, and we're still trying to engage with our local community, and also the students who are all across United States, and also give a great opportunity for all of us, coming in as freshmen, to really engage with campus, be it virtually or, some of my brothers were actually on campus living. And so, I chose myself to stay at home this semester, even though they open campus, save money. And also, my conditions at home are a little more appealing. But it's
meaning you got your own room. You can get to the refrigerator 24/7.
Right.
I got you on there,
So,
Brandon.
I'm looking forward to next year, my sophomore year, going on to senior year. Hopefully, we don't experience something like this in my lifetime again.
Mm-hmm.
But, also, just adapting and, being understanding and keeping our heads up and keeping the focus to our goals and, our aspirations that we want to conquer.
Absolutely. Jackie, how are you all doing in the pandemic? Have you all had to shift some of your programming or your initiatives with the students because of the pandemic? And I imagine traveling has probably been put on hold for a little bit.
It has, Rose. We as everyone else, shifted virtual to facilitate our programming, and our program is a lot of experiential learning. So that has been a challenge, but we are cautiously optimistic that we will be able to facilitate the leadership camp this summer, as well as the program that Brandon mentioned, which is the hike in the backcountry. And we are planning that, and we have a lot of course, COVID protocols, but we did do the best we could, and the staff did a great job to do virtual programming, and we did a lot of programming. We actually did probably more programming because it was virtual, and it eliminated some of the logistics for us, but we were able to even do some mental health support for our students, academic support, and other things, as well as our core programming. So we made some lemonade out of the lemons, I think.
I think we've all been trying to do that since last year. And finally, Jackie, are there areas that you all would like to be able to either implement in the program or have additional resources for the students that hopefully maybe the next year or so or down the road that you envision that this organization will be able to accommodate?
We're always looking to grow, Rose. We are working a little bit more with more APS schools, and it was a little more challenging this past fall to get out there and to talk to families and parents and teachers. But we're hoping to do that, as well as part of our programming is the career readiness part. So we love to bring students to visit companies, and so we, to introduce them to different career paths. So those are a couple of things, just, a little more growth in APS, Atlanta Public Schools, as well as the career component. So.
Well, best of luck to you all. Jackie Cannizzo, the Executive Director of the C5 Georgia Youth Foundation. I was also joined by Brandon Wilson, a freshman at the Morehouse College and a 2020 graduate of C5 Georgia. Brandon, best of luck to you. We'll play golf. I need you to, spot me, okay? I need you to. I don't want Jackie in there because I'm going to.
I got you, Miss Scott.
I'm the ringer.
All right.
I'm the ringer, Rose.
Brandon's got me. Listen, thank you both for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Rose. You're the best.
All right.
Take care, Brandon.